Yo, what's up, you guys? It's been a minute, but stuff is moving together. Today is February 11th, 2026, and it's the start of the new year. It's been pretty cool. It's been in my real life, it's been pretty slow. I feel like I didn't do November, December too well, so my January, February is slower, but it's picking up again where we got some work going, so it's pretty good so far. As long as you're working, it's not that bad. Um, and as far for this, it's going pretty well. I'm writing in my notebook. I'm trying to get episodes down, trying to do some content, trying to write, trying to remember that this is a thing, this is what I want to do. And it helps when you have people in your life who support that and they show you support by like so I'll put it back on me personally, and I will speak about this whole podcast that I want to do. This is just like a small hopefully the smallest version of what my podcast gets, and then we can look back at this in a few years and be like, yo, remember when we did that in the room? And it'll be dope. But my girlfriend, along with my mother and my sister, they've helped me get as far as I've gotten with this. My mom's got me the camera, so shout out to my mom for for raising me, for being the person to support my dreams, even though for most of my life I didn't see it that way. Um, for being the person to give me things that I don't know I want to do, but she knows, she sees the way I get about things, and she decides to push me towards it. So I appreciate that and I love that. Um, Same with my sister, who she's helped fund most of my life, really, because she was the older one and she helps me keep myself on track. Like it's a good like have you ever played Mario when you play the lap first and then you just run with the ghost? My sister's the ghost, and it's cool cuz I get to see how far I can go and hopefully how far I do go just off of her, we're but then after high school we kind of went like that. So hopefully hopefully you see this and you're like, "Oh shit, I should join that podcast too cuz I need a co-host." And I feel like that's what's keeping me from uploading a lot more, because how it's better to have like another person you can do banter, but with just myself, I'm just in here talking to a camera. Which I don't mind. It's pretty cool. But last but not least, my girlfriend, she deals with me a lot. Um Outside of this camera, she has to deal with me constantly just having ideas and having the want to do things but not the ability to do things. And I think that that strains that strains us a little bit, because how like I'm just the guy who's being like, oh, I want this, or like I have this dream, or like I want to do this and that, and I've yet to put it into fruition yet. So she's got to deal with that. But thanks to her, we are now, hopefully this audio is picking it up. We are now mic'd up. She got me this Digi microphone. And it's fucking awesome, dude. Shout out to my boy Rennie, because Rennie, he held me down with these. These are pretty cool, and we upgraded just recently. So thank you to my girlfriend. Look, bro, when I tell you this girl is so cool. Like, look, this should even come with a bag. It comes with swag. This Digi swag bag. That's fire as hell. And this isn't even sponsored. I shouldn't be saying their name. I should be. Look at that. She even got me a card, dude. This is awesome. I like this shit. It's a like it's really cool that I think it's very cool because I don't know how to do it for myself, and I very much appreciate when I just voice a bunch of things, because that's what this is. This is me getting upset or me realizing stuff that's going on and being like, I need to say it. So that's why I'm sitting here in front of the camera. But outside of this, I'm doing it with them, and they're like, dog, you got to do something about it. And they've helped me work this together. And while I just can't be saying thank you enough. So hopefully throughout my ascension from this, y'all can see me thank them. Y'all can see me and help me be out there and be like, yo, this is for you, for the time that you helped me put that camera together in my room. You know what I mean? So that that's kind of what November till now has been. And so I'm just gonna pick up on some, like, just some random news just to put a video out there. What is it? So in music, Gene Simmons, I guess he's the guy from AC/DC. I believe he was the drummer. He says he doesn't get rap because he doesn't come from the ghetto. And but his full quote is, "It's not my music. I don't come from the ghetto. It doesn't speak my language." And he's talking about how rappers are now getting indicted in or inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and how he doesn't care for it, which personally, that's an opinion. But you're old and white, so I can see you being like, oh no, these other guys are coming into our businesses and messing it up, and they're lowering our standards. But you're on the way out, so your opinion's like, But one of the things I thought was interesting is in that same article he said the biggest problem is that the next Beatles, the next Elvis, is not going to have a chance because record companies are not record companies don't give out advances. There is no business. Fans are downloading for zero next to it. So if you're a musician, you can't get paid for your art. And I think that's a deterring statement. I think that YouTube, SoundCloud, your local pop-up, your shit, the other person with a podcast who's interested in interviewing rappers, that's how you can get down with the freeness of it all. Rappers were coming up on LimeWire, on the blue one after LimeWire. Soulja Boy blew up that way because they want the money. They want the money grab, whereas rap and everything that's come after those guys has been more catered towards the person. Like, J. Cole just dropped an album and it's called The Fall Off. If you haven't been listening to J. Cole, you're just wondering why he would drop an album after dropping a mixtape. And if you don't know of J. Cole, you probably didn't hear he dropped the mixtape around his birthday. So it's more, new music has more of a fan base attached to the person than the need for a band or a road crew. Because I'm guessing back in Bro's day, they were all down for the group, but y'all group members messed it up for everybody else. I don't see how there's not a connection into older people not having groups leading into why young people don't have groups. It makes no sense. But it's kind of wild how he goes, don't give out advances. So you think that your music is only as good as the money that it brings in. But I just saw, I don't know if it's true, but I just saw a little commercial because I was trying to make some beats too, where ASAP Rocky used some free flute beats or something to make Praise the Lord. So it's like, if you really want to make something hit, you're gonna figure out a way to go around the paid version or having to pay something and do like the free ski on it, so that you could actually get around and make your thing pop. So I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird how he was saying you couldn't get paid for your art. And if you want to get paid for your art, I don't think you should be doing art. I think you should be doing art because it makes you sick not doing art. Where if you're at home every day just fucking reading or doing everything mundane, that's sick. Like it's called a job when you get paid for it, but I don't think it's called art when you get paid for it. You get to do what you like for a dream every day. Um, Aside from that, I also read that this is small news, but if you've seen The Office, they said that Tony Soprano could have been in The Office when Steve Carell in 2021 he was taking time off of the show, and it says that on Talking Sopranos host Steve Sharippa told Rick Gervais, creators of the UK version of The Office, says Gandolfini was offered $4 million to replace Steve Carell. However, HBO successfully paid $3 million to him to turn it down. And BJ Novak, the writer of the show The Office, the American version of The Office, said that he was in there in the meeting when they were trying to win him over, and that some of the mannerisms Steve Carell had on the show were based off of Tony Soprano. And I thought that was very cool because off of an initial like visual inspection, you would think that those shows are nothing alike, but then you start listening to the backstories, you start listening to the person who wrote the show be like, oh no, XYZ matches what he was doing on that, and how sometimes he would be so dead serious but mispronounce a word, and he thought that was the most Tony Soprano thing you could do. And I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that. I like that show. Me and my girl watch that show whenever we can on TV because I think they took it off of all the streaming services. And lastly, because I just read that Boston is trying to follow congestion pricing. Which, if you don't know, New York, I believe last year, they started charging up the charging to people coming into the city because of the congestion that happens. And it seems as though Massachusetts is attempting to follow the same path. And people wanted to go through so traffic can get better. They say that it'll cause less accidents, but others say we pay enough to drive on the roads. Why pay more? Congestion pricing is also being considered for the I-93 and I-95, where most of the traffic occurs. And personally, I drive from Lawrence to Boston every day because a commuter, gotta go to work, right? So one and part of the problem because I could be taking a train, but instead I got a car to take me 30 miles south and 30 miles north at the end of the day, along with everybody else on the road. But I could take the train. And the thing with the train is, I don't think they have early enough trains. I know they start at 5, but if I wake up at 4 and it takes me an hour, if I wake up at 4, I get ready, go to the train station. If by 5, if by 6 o'clock I'm in Boston, I'm late for work already because I gotta be there at 6:30, and from North Station to where I need to go to work, it'll take me like 2 or 3 trains and traffic on the train to get there. So for me personally, it's just easier to get in my car early as fuck, drive down there, and get to work. But I've realized in the last 2 years, I don't know if people just aren't going to college, if more people are staying home, if more people are coming back, but there's ridiculous amounts of traffic any time of the road now, any time of the day now. If I leave my house anytime later than 5:20, it's an hour plus to get to Boston. But if I leave at 4 in the morning, it's a 35-minute drive. That makes no sense to me. And I'll just say it, and maybe we could start the beef. I think they should start all that tolling shit at the cusp of when it goes entering Massachusetts. If you have to pay a toll every time you enter Massachusetts, I think you'd start considering staying up in New Hampshire and figuring out how to make something go up there. Cause I don't I there's a lot of stuff that I could go on the New Hampshire topic, but I don't think it's fair that y'all decided y'all want to move all the way up north, want to come down to Boston, take people's jobs from the local area who could be working these same jobs if y'all stayed up north, and then you want to cause all this traffic in your big dually trucks in your like just because you live in New Hampshire, y'all want to jump in the left two lanes and book it all the way up, and then you do that from Boston to New Hampshire, and you do that on the east and west ones to go up to New Hampshire as well. So I think if you hit all the points where the New Hampshire people come down and go up, they'll start realizing I either can't make the money to pay these tolls to keep coming to work, or we got to move back to New Massachusetts or move back to New Hampshire. Because why that makes no sense. Why are you coming down to a place where you insult the people, insult the governor, insult everybody down here, but you're more than willing to come down and make money with us, and you're more than willing to what, like, just fuck up all the roads that you don't pay taxes for? I think that's messed up. Because and one of the points on there said that on the Mass Turnpike, I believe they said Worcester, they paid more taxes for the Big Dig, and they don't even use the big, like, the tunnels provided by the Big Dig. So along with the whole bill moving up to legislative the branches and whatnot, so that it could pass and become a real thing, they said they got to figure out how to make that fair for them. But I don't know why everyone's now talking about nothing is fair when we're taxing everybody, and all we want is traffic to get better. Traffic to get better, cops to not murk people, and schools to get better. And yet the people who use our roads aren't aren't from around here, and then the people who cause probably more traffic and cause accidents still aren't from around here. But we're blaming the people who live here, who just don't have other sorts of documentation. And I think that's messed up, because I think up north they're pushing that immigration topic a lot harder than they should be, if they're coming down across state lines to do the same thing that other people are coming around to do. That one got a little long-winded. I'm leave that there. But that's February 11th. That's what today is. That's just how I'm feeling. Now that I'm mic'd up, hopefully it'll be more impromptu content like this. I'll be able to record, hopefully chop it up faster, and just get to the nitty-gritty of it. Because I need to become more consistent. I just realized I got 20 followers. Shout out to each and every one of you 20 followers. I appreciate y'all. 20 subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Next milestone, I hope, is 500. And just to let y'all in, if you hit that 500 mark, that's when you start getting paid. So help me get to 500, and we'll start getting paid. We'll be lit. We'll be out of here touring. And then yeah, it'll hopefully be more of this. Hopefully, I'll start hooking it up to my phone, and we'll just start doing vlogs. There's nothing really. I got no schedule for stuff I want to do, but I need to start scheduling. So y'all will be seeing more of me. Hopefully, I'm sober and I'll be continuing a sober story, but I don't know, shit's tough. So I'm picking up a new book. It's called A Civil Action. My girl also gave me this. It's about a courtroom showdown. Two of the nation's largest corporations stand accused of causing the deaths of children. Representing the bereaved parents and the unlikeliest of heroes emerges. A young flamboyant Porsche driving lawyer who hopes to win millions of dollars and ends up nearly losing everything, including his sanity. So it sounds like a pretty good book. I'm not too sure of law, but I've recently started thinking that it would be an interesting arc in my life to go try and pursue it. Because education wise, I tried to do business management. I still end up doing that because everything's a business, might as well manage it. I tried to do civil engineering. That math is crazy, dog. And the people at Northern Essex, that counselor Tavares, I think his name is Tavares. I'm not gonna put your first name out there, but you kind of suck too, cause if a person who hasn't been in school is interested in something, you should do a better job of telling that person, yo, this math is levels above where you're at, and you're still returning. So it's like in high school when I went to go see the guidance counselors and I was telling them I need this, this, and this so that I could perform better. And they were like, or you could just perform better because everybody else does it. It's like, if your job is to listen to the students, if your job is to listen to the person who's sitting right in front of you telling you something about how they're interested in a new field, or if they're struggling in something, your job should be to kind of figure out how to get around that. You know what I mean? Not to be like, oh no, you are supposed to be a circle, be a circle. You're supposed to be a square, be a square. I think I think for all most of the new year, we're about to start seeing changes like that happen, and hopefully they happen progressively and hope like safely. But I think once they do, the people who aren't being let up, start getting up. Like a true representation of, what did they say? Rose in the concrete. I think we'd be able to do that if more of the people up top who get paid to not care, who get paid to push everybody to the side, just get out the way. And yeah, with that, I'll leave y'all. I need to get like a little ending title or something, but peace.